guys, I just wanted to stop here and take a minute to show you something that is a bear sign that is really easy to miss. And if you look right here, see this little maple tree is just laying across the trail right here. And a lot of people don't know this, but bears will reach up as high as they can bite on a small tree and break it off. And a lot of times it breaks right where they bite, and other times it breaks lower or whatever. In this case, golly, the deer flies are unreal. But I want to take you up here and show you. So as you can see, this is a pretty good sized tree that broke off here, and it kind of had a rotten spot right there. This is about 3.5 feet high, but if you look up here, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a tooth mark, there's a tooth mark. There's bigger ones on the other side where that bear stood up. And so he was about 6 foot, maybe just over 6 foot, where he bit this thing and tried to break it off right there, or just bite it. And but it broke off a little lower where there was a rotten spot. But I just thought I would show you that because it's some bear sign that a lot of people don't realize when they see something like that, that's actually a bear that did that. So I got to keep moving here so I don't get eaten alive. Well, it's almost time. The last few days have been sweat and mosquito repellent and deer flies and mosquitoes and cutting logs and driving through the forest, and I love every minute of it. So this year I've got 21 baits. I've got 5 in zone 25, which I was planning not to guide in 25 anymore, at least for quite a while. I got so many good baits in 27, but I had a couple, actually 3 guys that were a group that called me, and they had a tag for zone 25. The 3 of them had put deposits on a hunt a while back, and then the outfitter went out of business, and so they had tags for zone 25, no place to hunt. And I got good baits, sites in 25, and we've killed bears off of them before, all the way back to 2013. And so I agreed to take them on, and I had the spots for them. Now I've got, all my spots are full this year. I got 6 hunters the first week, 6 hunters the second week, and then I've got my buddy Dave, who's got a tag, and I'm going to be helping him get a bear also the second week of the season. You might remember Dave. He's been battling cancer for quite a while, and if you saw the vlog that I did on a Wyoming hunt back in 2020, where Virgil and Dave and I went to Wyoming, and at that time Dave had just had cancer removed from I think some lymph nodes or something in his neck, and he had stitches in his neck. And he said, I can't go bear hunting unless somebody can take these stitches out for me. So I took the stitches out for him in bear camp, and the first time I've ever done anything like that, but I just did that because I wanted him to go along. And so that was 4 years ago, and he's still battling cancer. And this is an opportunity for me to help him get a bear here in Minnesota, so I'm excited about that. The sites look really good this year. Had to cut some logs and stuff like that. Every year I got to go to every site and just check the trails and so forth, because there's trees that fall down during the winter and all that. And the mornings have been cool. The days have been kind of hot and humid, and the bear activity, the bears are moving good. The natural foods crop is something that everybody's talking about right now, and it's super spotty in Minnesota this year. Like where I live in central Minnesota, there's a ton of acorns, there is a lot of hazelnuts, there's a fair amount of berries and so forth, but up here In the northern part of the state, I would say the raspberry crop is well below average. I have not seen a blueberry all year. The choke cherries are way down. There's not many oaks in this area, so that's not a big deal. I would say the hazelnuts are below average also. And so the natural foods are not great this year, which is good for bear hunting. The bears are hungry and they'll be on the baits pretty good. In fact, I did something that I've always talked about doing and thought about doing and never did before. And that was I went to some of my previous year's baits and I put some cameras on them like 10 days before the baiting season starts. And I just wanted to see if the bears would start checking them, knowing that there's normally bait shows up there the middle of August. Well, believe it or not, out of the 3 cameras that I put on 3 bait sites, all of them had a bear come to check the bait site within 24 hours. The bears are just checking already. They're practically waiting in line to get on the baits. I've had 3 of my baits get logged off this year, so they had to be moved or changed or just dropped. In one case, I was able to continue using the bait because they just logged within about 15 yards of actually the tree and the barrel, and everything behind it where there's a swamp is all still good. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one again, but 2 other ones I just had to move. So I've got 21 baits and I've got 21 barrels ready to go. And then I've got 6 extra barrels because there seem to be times when there's a lack of natural food when I would like to not visit the baits that often, and the bears are just cleaning them up faster than I can get back there. So I expect to have some baits where I'm going to put 2 barrels on them. So I still got a long list of things to do before Friday when the baiting starts, and I've got plenty of help this year. We're going to try to get all of the baits in zone 27 out the first day, and then we're going to get the other 5 up here in zone 25 where I am right now. We're going to get those out on the second day, and then we'll wait a day to 2 days, and then we'll just start checking them and feeding the bears. I'd say my overall enthusiasm and excitement level is very high. I love doing this, and I love helping people get bears. And you know, I got a lot of people coming in this year. They're from Minnesota and Illinois and Wisconsin and South Dakota and Iowa, and it's going to be really fun to help these guys get the bears, and hopefully our skinner's going to be really busy. So we've had some fiascos and difficulties. It seems like, you know, I got a long list of things that need to be done, and then it turns out I keep adding things and things go wrong. And one of the things that really went wrong this year, unfortunately, you know, this Toyota Tacoma that I spent a lot of time and money getting all built up into what I feel like is the perfect bear hunting truck, well, my wife smashed it up. And she was in a side-by-side and she accidentally stomped on the gas instead of the brake and smashed the side-by-side right into the back of the truck. And she's okay, fortunately, and the side-by-side got banged up a little bit, not bad enough that it isn't usable. Unfortunately, I had to get that truck to a body shop and try to get the tailgate off of it and get the box part of it bent back into shape. And I told them, just, you know, get it so it's usable, because I really got to have it. And even if you just got to put a used tailgate on it that's the wrong color for now or whatever, I don't care. You know, I just have liability insurance on it, so it's just coming out of my own pocket anyway, but I got to have that truck. And speaking of side-by-sides, you notice I got another side-by-side this year. I got a second Polaris. This is a 570, which is the smaller size. The other one that I have is a 900, and it's a bigger one, has a wider wheelbase. It rides better and has more room. I can haul 3 people in it, including me, and then it's got more room in the box. One mistake I made when I bought that one, I bought them both used, but the mistake I made when I bought the first one is not getting power steering. Man, the power steering is so worth it. And this one has power steering. It's a smaller size. It turns sharper. It gets around back in the woods a lot better. And so I've been running this one a lot this year. And the side-by-sides versus a four-wheeler is kind of a trade-off. And you know, a lot of the people who hunt with me, who bear hunt, don't have much experience in the woods riding four-wheelers and so forth, and they really like riding the four-wheelers. The four-wheelers are more fun, let's face it. You know, getting on a four-wheeler and going down these trails is more fun than riding alongside of somebody in a side-by-side. But the other side of that coin is, man, these side-by-sides are so much more practical for hauling bait in and out, hauling stands in and out, for getting a bear out and so forth. So it's kind of a trade-off for me. I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go in the future. I'm hoping I can have some kind of a combination of the two that will work, and we'll do most of the work with the side-by-sides and have fun with the four-wheelers, I guess. That's the way we're going to put it. Sun's up high enough now that the dew is starting to get off the grass and the bushes, and a few more baits here that I got to get in, look them over, make sure everything's okay. There's probably going to be some more trees across the trail, so we're going to use the chainsaw, probably some today, and the next vlog that you see is we're actually going to be baiting bears, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm so grateful that you're tagging along for the ride. Beautiful day in the North Woods, and it's day 2 of bear baiting season, and we are done. We got all 21 baits out, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through how it went. And overall it went really well. We did have a couple of snafus, but I had a great team, and we really got the baits out really fast and really well. Everything went pretty good. So I've got I should have added this up, but I'm going to say I got around 120 5-gallon buckets full of trail mix in the wood right now. So we got 21 baits that all have a 30 or 40-gallon drum on them. We started out yesterday morning thinking that we were going to get rained on, but we just decided to go ahead and go. And sure enough, it started to clear off a little bit, and then we got some rain during the night, which probably washed some of the scent down, but not too bad. And we started having bears on the baits right away. I got some cell cameras, the Moultrie mobile cameras, on some of the baits, and we literally had bears hitting baits within less than 4 hours from the time that we put the baits out. And Josh, he's hunting about 30 miles from here, and he put a bait out after we got done yesterday, so it was almost dark. And he's got a cell camera on that, and he had 8 different bears on it, and the first one was on it 38 minutes after he put the bait out. So that's crazy. But the bears are hungry this year. They look thin. Most of the bears that we're not seeing bears that are really filled out. So I'm pretty encouraged about how this season's going to go. I really think that we're going to get a lot of bears on the baits, and they're going to be there regularly. But I've got 4,200 pounds of trail mix, and I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to probably have to get some more bait. I'm definitely going to run out of breads and pastries. But so let's talk about how this went. So we split up into 2 teams, and the one team got their 8 baits done by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They went out about 8 in the morning, and they're pretty well spread out. And then the team that I was doing, I had Skylar with me, and Daryl, and Sterling, and then Virgil just filmed for us. So you're going to see a lot of footage. You're watching footage right now. that Virgil filmed. He's pretty good to the camera, so it's really nice to have him along, and it's just fun having him in camp. He's such a fun guy to have around, and everybody likes him. So I just tell him to come on up and hang out around camp, and it's just good to have him. About 3:30 before we got done, and we ran into only one situation where I stopped at an access where I was going to go back in to put a bait in, and there's a truck sitting there with bear bait in the back of it. And so I went about a half a mile down the road to a backup spot, and we had to really hack in a spot. That was the only one where we actually were not able to put a bait in where we wanted to the first day. So I had 2 huge pot roasts in the crock pot all day, and we came back and had a big meal of pot roast and mashed potatoes and gravy, and Virgil made up a cucumber salad, which was really good. So great day. Overall, just a really great day. And unfortunately, we got some rain on some of the baits. We may have to go back and gold rush them again. As you know, if you've ever watched the way we do this, we use gold rush, spray it in the trees, and then dump some around the barrel. And we do that, rush in the fryer oil, and we just do that the first time that we put out a new bait. And then from then on, we just carry the sprays, which is much more convenient. We just hit each bait with sprays every time that we check the baits. But we may this year have to put some more gold rush on. We'll just see how this develops over the next couple days. If we have a bait or two that doesn't get hit for 3-4 days, then we'll gold rush them again, because it really works. Okay, so that's how yesterday went. Very, very good. Extremely happy with it. Everybody, I mean, just, you know, I have everything set up so it's very efficient, with backpacks, with lag screws, with impact, a sign, the cameras, the camera boxes, and everything that you need is right there for every single bait. And so we can put baits out in a hurry, and if you got a good team of guys that can carry buckets and carry a barrel and get them in the woods in a hurry, it really works out very, very good. And I'm really fortunate. I keep saying this, but it's really true. I got some really good guys that are working with me. So day 2 started out this morning. We were going to do the North Loop, and since this is so much farther away, I'm using 40-gallon barrels, and we put more bait in them. All the baits that we did around here, we put 4 buckets of trail mix and 1 bucket of bread and pastries, and we put the bucket of bread and pastries in first, so it kind of plugs up the hole, and then we dump 4 buckets of trail mix in. But we did more up there because it's farther away, and we got a 40-gallon barrel, so we did 5 to 6, and we got all those out, and I feel really good about these spots. And a couple of them are new spots, and unfortunately we did run into quite a bit more competition up on that North Loop today. In fact, there was one place where we went, and we got there today on one of them, and somebody had put in a bait literally probably 25 yards from where I was intending to, where I had dropped a pin. We moved that one to a backup spot about a half a mile away, and that one took a lot of work because, you know, the spot that we picked just had a ton of brush and popple whips and stuff like that, and so it took a lot of clearing of just junk brush and stuff like that. So then we went to the next spot that's only 2 miles away, and there was obvious signs of somebody going back into that area, and they went in and went beyond where my bait site is. So I went in there. I didn't follow the trail to see how far beyond mine they went, and they could be 200 yards or they could be 2 miles back in there. I just, you know, it just doesn't make sense for me to take the time to go find out where their bait is. But other than that, we did get all the 5 set out, so we got a total of 21 out right now. We got a lot of buckets of bait in the woods, and it's very exciting to watch things happen so fast like they are this year. The bears are hungry, and they're coming to the baits really good. So tomorrow we're going to start checking them. and we'll take buckets of bait with us. You know, this early, I'd kind of be surprised if any of them are completely cleaned up, but they could be. And there might be some that aren't hit. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's kind of have a little fun contest, or like for bragging rights. Go to the comment section and guess how many of the 21 baits are going to be hit on the first check. Whether you think it's 21 or 15 or 5 or whatever, just take a guess, go to the comments and put a number in there. How many out of 21 do you think are going to be hit? And then it'll be kind of fun just to see what people have to say. So I hope you enjoyed this and maybe learned something from it, and at least understand, you know, how we do things here. And I'm going to go out and try to shake some crappies loose here this evening, and we'll see you in a couple days. It's 9:30 and I am really tired, but I know you all been waiting for an update, so I'm going to give you a quick update here, let you know how things are going and how things went during the first check, which was already a couple of days ago. And I apologize for that, but I made some notes on my phone here during the day of things I wanted to mention to you. So it's crazy out there. I don't know if I'm a bear hunter or a zookeeper, because it's absolutely bizarre the number of baits that are going bonkers right now and how much bait I'm going through. So last night I ran and got some more trail mix. I bought everything that Lucky 7 in Grand Rapids had, which was 5 barrels, and also ordered in from Wildwood Bear Bait. They were out of trail mix, so I got 4 barrels of granola from them. I think I've got 6 barrels of trail mix left out of the 2.5 tons that I started with, and I've got multiple baits with 6, 7, 8 bears on it, and bears are fighting at the bait. They're eating the bait together, and I know I've heard before that when times are tough, the bears will actually share food, and I kind of always question that, because it seemed like they would fight over whatever's available, but I'm actually surprised at how many baits I have where bears are just sitting there eating together, which you rarely ever see. I mean, there's some interaction and fighting going on. Out of the 21 baits that I had out, I had 6 baits that were not hit after the first check. So those of you who guessed that 15 out of 21 would be hit, you guys were correct. Now we've already been over them the second time, and I think we've got 3 left that have not been hit, and some of these are slow starters every year, which is really weird. Actually, a couple of them are, but also some of them that started slow were ones that were brand new this year, which of course you would expect it maybe take longer for the bears to find them. But it's strange that some of these baits just start slow every year. It takes 4, 5, 6 days to get them going. And that's a question I'm going to ask you to answer. If you have a theory on why that would be, leave a comment about that. You know, I feel like they're not off location. It wouldn't really be that, but maybe it's that. Maybe it's not. Maybe, I mean, the location is good after the bears find it, because, you know, once the bears find it, next thing you know, I got multiple bears on it. But why does it take them long to find it each year? Strange, but I'd like to hear some ideas on that. I have no idea the numbers of bears that I've got out there right now on all these baits, but I know that we're filling 30-gallon barrels that is empty within 24 hours, and that's routinely happening. So I'm going to be putting second barrels on some of these baits. The bears look kind of bony, and a lot of them are really pretty thin, but they're really surprising how fast they fill out once you start feeding them this really super high carb, high calorie food. And we've been starting to put stands out. We got 9 tree stands out today, and we got quite a few more to get up. I just decided we're going to put stands on the ones that have shooter bears on them, which at this point is most of them have multiple shooter bears on them. Been working in the woods every day, which is lots of fun, and it's hard work, man, but you know, you get home sweaty and you need a shower and a good meal and stuff, but it's so rewarding, and it's just the stuff I enjoy. There's always some drama. Been really good and stuck once or twice. Once really bad, and had to go get another four-wheeler and winch it out. A couple other times we've been almost stuck, but there's some pretty muddy spots on some of the trails. Are typically not very bad, but we've got some absolute super tankers. I mean, I've got a small number, but really, really big bears, 3 or 4, just absolute giants. And a couple of them are completely nocturnal. A couple of them are showing up in the daylight, which is encouraging. I really don't feel like dragging one of those bears out of the woods, but if somebody shoots it, I'll be thrilled, and I'll drag it out. We'll get it back to camp, and then we'll deal with it. The other thing that I've seen before that's happening out there is that the bears tend to really wreck the barrels if it runs out of food. They're climbing on them. They pull the lids off of them. They chew up the rings that are supposed to hold the lids on. I don't know how many of those rings we got in the dumpster, the garbage can out here right now, because so many of them have been bit off, and it's just hard to keep the food to them when I can't run every bait every day, and they're going through so much food right now. I don't even want to think about how much money I've spent on bait this year, and we still got a long ways to go. So it's crazy times, but it's good times. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's a really good year to draw a tag. That's all I got to say. So, and we'll bring you another update in a couple days, and do leave a comment about these slow starting baits that turn out really good after. I mean, I've got baits that literally, I'll tell you an example. 2 years ago I had a bait that I put out, and it sat for 7 days, and I finally completely gave up on it. Went back there like a few days later thinking I'll just got to go in there and pull that barrel and that camera out of there, and I went back in there and it was cleaned up. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and bait it, and sure enough, I come home, looked at the camera, there's one really nice bear on there. After 7 days, that bait just blew up, and we ended up killing a couple of bears off of it. So I guess I'm still learning. I'm sure you are too, and we will see you in a few days. I'm feeding bears every day. I'm feeding bears. It seems like my life is about feeding bears. And we have been going through the feed like crazy. It's been absolutely bonkers. I got multiple bears on every single bait, and they're coming in the daylight, they're coming at dark, they're feeding all day long. When they run out of bait, and we put more bait out, and they're right back there again almost immediately. And in fact, I got one bait where I baited it at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon all 30 gallons were already gone, and so the evening crowd didn't get anything. I baited that again today. I've been baiting it every day because it's fairly close to camp. I sent Virgil down to Wildwood with a truck and trailer to get 12 more barrels of trail mix. I've used up everything I've got, and I hardly have any bread and pastries this year, so that's been a real struggle. But yeah, I'm just going through bait like crazy, and the bears are super hungry. There's very little natural food in the woods right now. In this area, there's very few oak trees. and the ones that are here don't seem to be producing well. So some of the bears will migrate out of this area to get to where the oak trees are. So we're going to lose some of these bears, but actually right now I don't mind, because we've got dozens and dozens of bears that are hitting the baits every day. I got way more bears than I need, as long as they'll show up during the daylight when the hunters are here. Lots of sows with cubs this year, tons of sows with cubs. The bear population's just high right now. We've had a couple of down years for harvest and good natural production years, so most of the sows have 3 cubs, and there's just a lot of teeth in the woods right now. So you may have seen that I had a bear coming into camp. Well, it turns out I actually got 2 bears coming into camp. One of them pulled garbage bags out of a trailer that I was going to take to the dump the next morning, and then another one came in and knocked a few barrels and buckets around, took a dump right by one of my trailers with the 4-wheelers, just kind of a way of leaving his calling card right there in my camp. And that is pretty ironic, but that's the way it's happening right now. We have bears in the daylight, which is exciting. More daylight, actually midday and morning bears, I think, than I've ever seen. And you know, I've been baiting bears for 25 years. I have only been baiting at this level at guiding. This is only my 5th year, but I've never seen anything like this. So it's pretty crazy, and the competition is pretty stout. Actually, I got some people that have dropped in some baits really close to mine, you know, 1/4 mile or less, and in one case quite a bit less. And in this case, I'm pretty certain that the guy knows where my bait is and just decided to try to take advantage of it by putting one pretty close. But in most of the cases, it's just that, you know, there's a lot of people baiting. There's a lot of public land, and we're hunting on public land. So we're in a situation where there's always going to be people around you, and that's the reality of it. The weather's been good. That really helps. It's been humid and warm, you know, highs around 80. We had one day with a little rain, but not very much. And so overall, for scent distribution, it's been good. So we're gonna just keep feeding bears here and keep piling the food to them. I'm a firm believer that you just don't let them run out, and it gets to be really, really hard work and really, really expensive in years when there isn't much natural foods and they're eating as much as they are. But we're gonna do what it takes to make sure we got a lot of shooter bears on camera. We got some real super tankers too that somebody might get a shot at, and some color phase bears. We got a little of everything. I don't want people that are coming to hunt with me to get too optimistic, but like I said before, it's a really good year to draw bear tags. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to roll some trail camera videos and pictures and just enjoy them. It sure is a lot of fun when it's like this, and I just got a feeling you could probably do everything wrong this year and still kill a bear if you've got a tag. So we'll see you in a few days. one of the primary food sources of black bears. It's a hazelnut bush. It just happened to be right beside the trail here, and I thought I would stop and show it to you because they've been just wiping it out. They're just pulling the branches down, and you can see the hazelnuts right there. That's what they look like. And this last time I came through here, this was, I mean, it's not a tree, I guess it's a bush or a shrub that hazelnuts grow on. It was all standing upright, and now, as you can see, it's been completely pulled down, and they've been stripping the hazelnuts off of it. So it's that time of the year, August 29th. The hazelnuts are getting ready, and the bears are piling on them. I'm telling you guys, this is the bait we call rickety. We got 2 barrels on it, and it is just, I mean, it looks like a bomb went off in here. If you had any idea what this looked like when we started, it was just super thick in here. But they've been knocking down branches. It's all opened up back in there from the bears and the trails and the, holy cow. So we just filled these 2 barrels, a 30 and a 40, or 2 30s. We just filled them 2 days ago, and they're both completely empty. And there's just bear scat everywhere. There was a bear standing here when I walked up. I came down that trail right there. There's the stand. You can see the stand right there. When I came to there, I could see a bear standing here. And he looked at me, and then he just stood there and looked at me for a second until I reached down to try to turn the camera on. And then he took off. But holy cow, it's unbelievable in here. So I went through my trail camera pictures last night because I've been thinking I got a lot of sows with cubs on camera this year. So I actually went through and counted last night, and I have 16 sows with cubs on the baits this year. And of those 16, 13 of them have 3 cubs, and only 3 of them have 2 cubs. There's a lot of bears going to be out there in the future. Well guys, I just went and bought 3 more barrels of mixed nuts. I pretty well bought everybody out of trail mix that is in this entire area. I've bought stuff from several different bait suppliers this year. These 3 barrels should hopefully get me through with what I've got back there. I got 2 full and 2 partial barrels back there, and hopefully should get me all the way through. But I'm telling you, I have spent over $6,000 on bait this year. It's absolutely bonkers out there. I've been doing this a long time, and I've never seen anything like it. I've got multiple bears on every bait. I think I'm feeding probably over 100 bears right now on 18 baits that I'm servicing regularly, and I can't keep the bait in front of them. I got some of them that I put 2 barrels out there, and they're eating it all in one 24-hour period. I've actually got one bait has so many bears on it that I baited it at noon and it was gone before and the evening bears got there. 3 or 4 bears feeding on it all day, all night. It's just absolutely bonkers. I've got several baits like that the bears are just pounding. Yeah, it's crazy. So they're like, when they run out of bait, they're just absolutely destroying the barrels. They're bending them all out of shape. They're pulling them off the trees. I can't tell you how many times I've had to go reattach the barrels to the trees and try to bend them back into shape. People say, well, maybe you should use steel barrels, but the thing is they can bend steel barrels just as easily, and it's just a lot harder to get them bent back into shape. So I don't know if this will ever happen again in my lifetime. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. So we've had a lot of bears that are yearlings. Some baits have half a dozen or more, those 100 to 120 pound bears. We've got, I think I've got 12 to 15 over 300 pound bears. They're a lot less consistent than the smaller ones. I've got lots of sows with cubs, as I mentioned. There's about 60 sows with cubs that I'm feeding. The bigger bears are mostly nocturnal as usual, but I got a few that are making some mistakes and coming in the daylight or in that last 15 minutes of daylight, which is, bodes well for the hunters that want to hold out for a big bear and risk, not shooting one at all. I keep saying it's a really good year to draw a tag, but I don't know how else to put it. It's really something, guys. I got a lot of trail camera videos of bears fighting and interacting at the baits, and in some cases just laying down beside each other and eating. It's bizarre the way adult bears and young bears, sometimes they're fighting and sometimes they're just laying there, just chowing down together. Some people have asked about bear number 6007, which has had the 2 ear tags, and I've had him on different baits. A couple of years ago I had him on 2 baits that were 14 miles apart, and I believe he's back this year on one of the baits. He's only got an ear tag in his right ear, and it looks to me like maybe the one in his left ear got torn off, and he's 12 or 13 years old now. I kind of forgot, but I believe that's him. I'm pretty sure that's him. There is some competition out there, as I mentioned before. I had a guy that dropped in a bait 25 yards from one of my established baits that I hadn't baited yet, and I happened to run into him out there. He's on a side-by-side. I waved him down. He did look like he didn't really want to stop and talk to me, but I'm glad he did, and I said, look, you put in that bait right beside where my bait would typically go, and I said, but are you an outfitter or you just drew a tag? And he said, yeah, it took me 4 years to draw the tag. And I'm like, okay, it's all yours. I'll worry about that bait next year and 3 years after that. You can have it. And that's the easiest way to get along with people in that situation. There's no shortage of places to shoot a bear this year. I've also got other people that dropped in baits pretty close to mine in a couple situations. But, I mean, that's the reality of bear hunting. It just works that way sometimes, and I try to get along with people. The way I see it, that guy's out there as a bear hunter, and he has very similar interests to what I do. He's a potential friend or a potential enemy, and I'd prefer to have people as friends than enemies. And so there's really only one guy that I ran into this year that was bear baiting, and who was just difficult, I guess I would say. And I don't think our baits are that close together. I haven't went and tried to find his bait. He was parking at the same area that I was, but I don't think that's going to be a big issue. I'm just going to do my best to get along with everyone. So the hunters are coming in pretty shortly here. Man, I looked at the forecast and it's like ideal for bear hunting over the next few days. So I hope the weatherman is right, because we're going to have some terrific weather for sitting in the stands and seeing a lot of bears. It should be really, really fun. In one place, they actually punched a logging road in on the four-wheeler trail that I was taking to get to my bait. And my bait is 40 yards off the four-wheeler trail, and now it's 40 yards off a logging road that they just punched in, and the Caterpillar's still sitting there, the cat and all the heavy equipment, and the bears are just absolutely pounding it. So I think we're going to be all right. That's in an area where I'm going to be hunting guys for the second week, and so we'll see how that develops. But that's a really good bait with multiple bears on it, and a lot of activity and a lot of interaction going on in there. It should be good for those guys that are coming the second week. So we had some rains, which didn't hurt anything because it's pretty dry. Hopefully it brought the lake level up a little bit. The lake's been really low here for the last month. It was so high this spring that it literally, I have a floating dock that slides up and down on the posts, and it came up about, I think, 7 feet or maybe more, and it floated my dock off the top of the posts. And now the lake is so low that the floating dock is actually, part of it sitting on the bottom, and I have to raise the motor up on my boat to get it up to the dock. So it's crazy extremes this year. Everything's just been really extreme and bizarre. But anyway, boy, I apologize, the lighting in this video is horrible. But I just wanted to bring you up to date before the hunters get here, and the next time we see you and you see me, we're going to be killing bears. So thank you so much for following along on this vlog, and it's just going to get better from here. We'll see you on the next one. Well, we got the guys in the stands, and I took 2 guys, Jake took 2 guys, and Bill took 2 guys, and both of the guys that I took in, there were bears on the bait when I got in there. And so I think things are going to happen pretty fast tonight. I can't wait to talk to Jake and Bill and see what it was like for them, but man, it's crazy times we're living in right here, that's for sure. So it'll be exciting to see what happens. I think our skinner's going to be pretty busy tonight. Nothing wrong with that one.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I'll get him down.
Nice shot, man.
Yep. So the first bear I ever shot, I shot it and it fell on the ground.
Yeah.
And,
Well, some people like to keep it as a souvenir.
and then I watched it roll around on the ground for 10 minutes, and then it got up and left. So this one, he was laying on the ground, so I just sent a couple more at him.
You did?
Oh yeah. Oh, I made the mistake on the first one. I wasn't gonna. One after another coming into the bait station, and then he came out of the weeds and he looked bigger than the rest, and I just thought they were fighting, and he kind of was walking by, so I thought, give him a poke. And
Show him the face there. Lift up the head.
yeah.
Been fighting.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that, look at the photo. Ready?
Yep, got it. on our way in to get bear number 2, and it's only 6:30. So I just got a text from Jack. He said that he got one, and I said, did it run off? And he said it dropped like a ton of bricks. So that's what we like to hear. So we're on our way to get bear number 2, and I haven't heard from the other 4 hunters yet, except that one of them texted me and said that they had bears around him, but he didn't have one that he was ready to shoot yet. So this is what we were hoping for.
Last year's cub, ain't it?
No.
Huh?
No.
You don't think so?
Boy, look at the coat on that bear. Look at the black. It's just beautiful.
Well, good job.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
Where'd you hit him?
Yeah.
Right behind the head and the.
Well, you took him
probably
right
right in the loins is what I'm thinking.
Like right here.
up here.
Was he like standing right here?
Oh, he's about where his lead was.
Okay.
So he wasn't quite to the barrel yet.
No, but I was eyeballing the barrel. And I was eyeballing him. And I'm thinking, you know,
Looks like a pretty good bear.
sitting in the tree stand maybe 15 yards away, 20 yards away, I was listening to the grouse clucking, and all of a sudden they got dead quiet. There was one here and one over here, and all of a sudden he come walking through the weeds, just nice and slow. When he got to like the trail right here, I thought maybe gung-ho for the treats, but he just stood back, and I think he knew something wasn't right. I don't think he knew it was wrong, but something just wasn't right. He just kind of held back here. Oh, I'm thinking it was longer, probably a minute. But I thought he would have hightailed it into the bait. But and all of a sudden he got, 10 feet from the bait there, and I thought he better let him have it.
Hell?
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
You guys gotta lift that end up kind of to get it to fit. There. 238.
You got a chipmunk in there that he keeps eating those M&Ms. He's gonna look like a prairie dog at the end of the week.
That's funny. 238.
That's my guess.
I'm gonna say 237.9.
Oh, come on. Right there. Keep his head on right there.
God,
What a hog.
that is a
It
pig.
just ain't gonna sting.
I'll hold his head, will you, if you can you get his legs over a little more?
Wow.
I want to slide over to Jake. I'll turn his light on him.
Okay. That's a big one.
Andy.
Yeah. That'll probably be poking young that head.
Oh, it's
So
easy.
the only
Did he pick his head up?
is the head. The weight don't even matter.
Okay.
That's a big head. Smile, brother.
I'm coming.
Send me one of the pictures.
I already
Should make it 101.
Oh, this one was
The
very
He's got a
other one,
little
the other bigger one came in at a bait after I shot this.
like similar to this size.
Not quite as big, but it was nice. It was probably over 200.
I keep tackling.
Picture it now, Bill.
How much?
312.
312.
I mean, they just wanted to get the bullet out of their gun or something.
That's one way to
Did
unload.
they actually? So you actually heard a gunshot at well after dark.
Well after, yeah. Oh yeah, it was a late shot. Yeah, it's a good start.
Just do it again tomorrow night.
Yep.
Just got set up here. It's a beautiful evening. My brother's set up Andrew a few miles away. They're on the way over there now. Should be an exciting evening. Beautiful scenery spot here. We're out with Bernie Behringer and looking forward to see what this evening has to offer. It's the second night of 2024 Minnesota bear hunting. I'm up here hunting with Bernie Behringer, which has been amazing. I'm in the stand that my brother shot a really nice 312-pound male last night. He had seen 8 bears, and it was just a zoo around here. So Bernie thought it would be a good idea, and everyone thought the same, that I should come back here and see if we can go 2 for 2 out of this stand. See how this night unfolds. Well, it's 5:53. I just shot my first black bear ever. I want to thank Bernie Behringer and Bill and the rest of the crew. And of course my brother Andrew, who's been bear hunting before, and I gotta say, I am now hooked. Thanks, guys.
He always says this stuff.
I showed him the picture.
Oh, really? Yeah. This the first one, then? Yeah. That's my first bear. Yeah, oh yeah. You guys get good video?
I got really good video.
Awesome. That's exciting.
So,
All right.
well, let's pop
There's
it
another guy
down.
coming with a bear, friend of mine.
You want to
So-
drive over there?
We got another one coming?
This Kirk that I showed, showed him 2 spots to hunt. He killed one tonight. So, yeah.
What's that on your head, guys? That one laid on the pile, too.
Well, we know who shot it. It's the guy smiling.
Something.
What loses in weight makes up in beauty, though.
Yeah, that's
That's for sure.
Yeah. Shot. You got to pass through, and the bear went south. So,
Let's roll, huh? You know me?
yeah, yeah. We might as well.
that's the son-in-law?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice bear, too.
That is a dandy.
Where's this one get shot?
Right before you turn off on 52, when
That's good, buddy.
that new blacktop is right there.
Yeah.
Just back in about a half a mile from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, nice bear.
Thank you.
All right, good job.
Thank you.
Get him in there by yourself?
No, I got him in the side by myself. My neighbor helped me throw him from the side by in the air. I beat the living crap out of myself getting him in the side by side. Took 3 ratchet straps and.
Got another one down. Josh has got
yeah.
one.
Oh, that's a pretty.
Look at that white patch.
I'm pretty sure that's the one we saw
Yeah,
running
it's
down
about
the
the
trail in front
size,
of us.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna do a front half mount then? Yeah, that's a great choice for that bear.
Yep.
Okay. Well, here we go again, day 2, and we're killing bears like crazy. We're on our way to pick up Josh, who just texted me that he arrowed a bear. He said it got a great pass through and it went south, so it headed for the swamp. We were in the middle of skinning Alex's bear when that happened, and we had another bear in line. Kirk is a guy that I met up here. It has a cabin, he's from Iowa, he has a cabin on White Swan Lake, and he asked me to help him find some bait sites, which I did. I went out and helped him find 2 bait sites, and he thinks he's got 3 bears on 2 bait sites. Killed a heck of a nice 200-pound male tonight. So the bears are dropping like flies. But we're gonna go pick up Josh right now and see if we can find his bear. So been probably 15 minutes since he shot. Let's go. How's it feel?
Good.
Yeah, good shot.
Is Mario over there?
I didn't look actually.
I think I can see it, so. Looked like it passed through and I heard it moan a little bit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear. All right, need help down with anything?
I got it. I'm ready. I've been in bears for 4 hours.
I know it. We've been looking at the pictures on the cell camera, and we're like, I wonder if he's going to shoot that one. I wonder if he's going to shoot that one.
This is the one I found. Melissa didn't have a shot at though. They're
Yeah. They
corner
were
towards
laying
me.
down and stuff. And
At one point, this one I got was about 20 yards over here on top of a log.
oh, you saw him?
Yeah, he was trying to come in. They got scared off, and then came back in.
Awesome. Congratulations, man. Let's go get him.
Does that help at all?
You blew up his heart. It looks
Is that too bright?
No.
He's looking up.
No.
Look Look up.
My photos.
So was it exciting, or you see
Very
him come see him come in, or the only one you
He
seen,
actually
or
came
others
in from
seen?
behind me, and I had just put my stand up this morning, or this afternoon about 1 o'clock, and he looked up at me sniffing my ladder, and then proceeded onto the bait, and I shot him, and that was it. I sat for about 3 hours, and that was it.
That's the only one you seen then, or?
I have another bait to the west, about 4 miles to the west, and I saw a smaller one last night, and I passed on him. And then this guy came out to my bait. I've been baiting for, this is the 10th day, and he finally hit it yesterday on the 9th
Oh, really?
day. And I saw him on my camera, and I decided to sit in that tree stand and got lucky.
Lucky.
It's all, this guy helped me tremendously.
Well,
Tremendously.
we got good teamwork going on here.
Yeah, tremendously, and I can't say enough how the knowledge you
Appreciate that.
yeah,
That's-
it's fantastic.
I get a lot of pleasure out of helping people shoot bears.
This is fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
great.
fun.
Well,
Yeah, I can't believe he came up to my tree and stood up sniffing on my ladder,
yeah.
looking right at me. I'm thinking, he's gonna go the other way.
A sow and a boar, and he was definitely bigger than the first one. And so I looked and I could see that he was like this long, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, that's a good bear.
Yeah.
And then so I drilled him, had the receptacle on, and then I heard him go, stop, and then tip over and gurgle.
Oh yeah.
I knew he was dead right
So
away.
he didn't go very far at all.
Like, he didn't go more than 25 yards. So,
It's a good bear.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dead one.
Really good bear.
you want some of that?
I think it's 231.
Get that other
that's
front
right.
leg. There you
I'm
go.
just gonna hold
Don't
this with my foot. So
Yeah, we gotta get it up higher or else this ain't gonna
we
work.
got to get
We
the
do have
head over the end
there's
of
a
it.
barn Des Moines, and they
Okay,
have,
there we go.
like the,
I did the same thing.
It's not seasoned though.
They won't give me any information on the ones that have collars on them because they don't want you to go, oh, he's over there. You know what I mean? But once the bear's dead, the biologist, he just sends me all the data, and I just open up this Google Earth file, and here's all of these
tracks.
pings,
Yeah.
hundreds of pings where this is where he was, and he'll have the one bear. There was like this pocket of like hundreds of them in this one small area, and so I zoomed in on it and looked at it, and it was all November to March. So he was in a den on an island in a lake. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's day 3, and everybody's got their bear. So that's pretty exciting for me. And we also had 2 other guys. They're two guys that just asked me to help them find good bait sites, I guess. And they both shot bears on their first sit. And the great news about all of this is that whenever you hear the DNR talk about why there's not very many bear tags being given out, one of the main reasons that they give is that we shoot too many sows. And out of our 6 guys in camp and the other 2 guys that I helped, we got 8 boars, so 8 males out of 8, and so that's very meaningful to me, and it definitely helps with the number of tags in Zone 27 when we're mostly killing boars. So I called Dave and asked him to come up early. He's my friend that has cancer that I'm going to try to help get a bear. And then I've also got 6 more people coming in on the weekend. So we got to keep some of these baits going. And Bill is out pulling stands and pulling some of the baits today. A couple of the hunters that got their bears asked if they could help. And so I'm sure he's thrilled to have their help. They're out doing that. And I am going to go set up a ground blind on one for Bill, and then also we got a few baits that we just got to keep topping them off because we're going to be hunting people on them. Alright, got it. I think you got it upside down though. There you go. Gotta be closer. Well, it's a cool morning here with a northwest wind. We got quite a cold front went through. Got a little bit of rain, not much, but a little rain last night in the evening while Dave was sitting in the stand with Mike. Unfortunately, Dave and Mike didn't see any bears last night, which was a surprise because I put them in a ground blind on a bait that's been hit pretty good. It's got one small bear and a couple of medium-sized bears and one real big one that's not coming very often, but when it does, it comes in about 8 o'clock during legal shooting light, and they didn't see any of them last night. Kind of unsuspected, but we're gonna go pull that card here in a little while and see if anything came in during the night and then decide. But we're running baits here. Sterling went north to run 4 baits up there. Bill is taking bait to Rickety and Beauty and Lost Lake number 2. And I'm down here at a couple baits south of camp, and we have some baits that haven't even been hunted yet that are going pretty good. And so when the hunters come in this weekend, we'll have some pretty good spots for them, and that's exciting to be able to put the guys on the second week on just as good and active as baits as we did the guys that were here the first week. And so that's what we always hope for. But boy, that sun feels good this morning, and it's just a really good day to be in the woods. So hopefully we'll get Dave on a bear tonight, and we'll see what happens.
Just relax. It just got done raining. We got the gun case. Don't move ahead before I.
Got us a bear to skin, Pilgrim. I'm so excited for Dave. Bill was sitting here. Bill was just sitting by his truck. He said, I'll just wait here for a while, and I got a few phone calls to make. And he texted me, he says, I heard a shot. And then right after that, I got a text from Dave that said, I heard a death bone. Sneak in here. Let's sneak in and get it out of here, and then we'll take it out to the power line and then do photos and stuff. You got a zip tie? I forgot to bring mine.
Grass in the chamber.
Did it,
Huh?
did it run off then?
Not very far. Kind of like it was rolling down the hill and stuff.
What way are we going?
So, well, come on down. Okay, good. So it was at the barrel?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Thank you. Then should have come out behind the.
That's a big bear.
Yeah, perfect shot. Perfect shot. Set kind of right up on the rail here.
I'm loading my gun. I just can't left the empty brass in it. Okay. We all got back to the stand and we got all set up. And then Rooney and them left me there, and started to rain. It rained down a little bit, but that wasn't too bad. So it might have been about an hour, maybe not even that long that I was back there. And I looked over where the bait barrel was, and I saw this bear just coming into the barrel there. So I gave him a little bit of time, and then I took the bead on him and put him down.
You made a perfect shot. You only went 10 yards.
Yep.
Awesome. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So happy for you, buddy.
Not even 2. Nope,
186.
I was closest. I
Yeah.
said 2. Yeah, it's surprising. I'm thinking this guy don't have a lot of fat on him.
Yeah, he might not be. He might be kind of a new bear. I think he just showed up at that bait. Start off this video a little different this time because something pretty exciting happened. I have 2 guides that work part-time for me. It's Josh and Daryl, and both of them had bear tags this year, and both of them got their bears, and both of them did it by themselves. Josh got a really nice bear on some property near where he has a cabin about a half an hour from here. And then Daryl went onto public land in zone 451, which is a really, really competitive area. Super hard to get a bear in that area, and he got one. And he also got some pretty good footage. He got the shot and everything on video and a death moan. So I'm just going to show that to you now. First of all, Josh had quite a few bears on camera and went through a ton of bait just like I did. I even gave him an extra 55-gallon drum full of trail mix, and he went through that just lickety-split. Then he ended up shooting a really nice big sow. So I'm really excited for him. Let's go into the video of Daryl's hunt here.
Well, it is September 6th at about 12:50 p.m. and I just got my first bear. What a rush. I'm shaking. Yeah, do it yourself, public land.
Well, here we go with week 2. We've got a whole new crop of guys in camp right now, and 5 guys and 1 girl. Sadie saw a big bear last night, and she's sitting with her dad, Jason, who hunted with us before. But everybody else came in today, and it's warmed up quite a bit. Man, it's 82 degrees, I think, right now. Little breeze. It's just a really, really good day for bear hunting, and we're just about getting ready to go out to the stand. Guys are in the showers right now, just getting ready to go. They're all very excited, and I'm just as excited as they are. It's one of the things that I really like about this, is just seeing the excitement level of the people when they come and they're so ready to go bear hunting, and I get the pleasure of giving them an opportunity to shoot a bear. Here's where we do the skinning, and that is going to be really busy here in just a very short while. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Nick Daniel at Bernie's Bear Camp 2024. Started off the first day I was here, sat in the tree stand, and after about an hour saw a sow and triplet cubs come up to the feeder. They ate at the feeder for a while, and then I saw a bigger sow come in and stand on the trail, and she got spooked a little bit by some cars going back and forth, but eventually she came in and she also had triplet cubs. So the second sow was bigger than the first one, so she scared off the first one. And then I sat probably another couple hours, and I could hear bears walking around behind me. There seemed like there was a lot of action, and eventually the one, a bigger male came in and walked along the edge of the brush, and then came up, and I got a shot at him and took it, and he ran off real quick, so I wasn't sure how fast he was going down, but we went and looked for him, and he got back up a couple times and came at us one time, and eventually we took it down and harvested a nice black bear.
Now he does.
Look, snuggly. That's fantastic, man.
Oh, he's got big old legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Okay.
Slide him up a little
I'm trying to figure out where his foot down there. What's under there?
Let's go up a little bit towards the front of the log.
All right, now I'll get his feet over while I hold him here.
Profile.
76.4.
Well, you tricked me. 276?
Yep.
Not quite 300 then.
Light, it's too much.
I think he's bigger than you are.
mm-hmm. It's pretty tall.
Okay, it's 6:30 and I got my guy Daryl here with me. Daryl and I were going to check on Tim. He just texted us and said I shot one, but he doesn't feel very good about the shot placement, so we're gonna go see what we got.
Evening.
Good evening.
So I think I got him a little further back than I wanted. Last movement was the one solitary straight tree down there. There's a black lump to the right, which I believe is him.
Okay.
But again, I kind of twitched and pulled it back a little bit on him. I had a 3-bear serenade going up here at the time.
Nice.
So
That's what we like to
three,
do.
I shot at the one I wanted to, but I'm hoping it was good enough.
That's broke the arrow. No blood on it.
I got him in the hind quarter.
I think you can see why I call this spot Beauty Lake. So it is, I guess you could say, day 2 of the second week. Last night we had 1 bear shot out of 6 hunters, and we saw 20 some bears, I think, probably over 20. A lot of sows with cubs. The bear that was shot was just under 300 pounds, and everybody passed bears pretty much. Tim shot at a bear. We did not have any blood on the arrow or any blood trail. I don't think it was a clean miss because there was a little bit of black hair and some kind of greasy, I kind of like bear grease on the arrow. So apparently it was an almost miss. So we're putting 5 of the 6 back out there tonight. Some of them passed bears that I was pretty surprised that they passed, but hey, it's their tag, so it's pretty risky passing bears like that, but everybody has their own strategy on how they want to do it. So it's pretty exciting that there was a lot of talk in camp about all the bears they saw last night. So I'm out this morning running a few baits in case I need them. I'm not sure that I will. I think people are going to be a little bit more trigger happy tonight. So should be a really good evening, and we should be skinning more bears tonight than we did last night. So here we go.
So the pieces are the same. I mean, it's not like two left foots, right?
Yeah, well, correct. But see, I had on my running shoes, and I was going to put these kind of old boots on. And so I started that process, and then Sadie said that there was a chipmunk that had gotten in the garage, and so I wanted to shoot it with the pellet gun, and I did. But I never finished what I started out to do, and so now I look kind of like an idiot. So I'm just hoping the bears don't mind that I'm out here with one running shoe and one old kind of hiking boot.
Well, you can keep it that way, and then that way you have two pairs of the same, like that. You know.
Well, that's accurate. Yeah, I could just decide which one I want to do each day. All right, Sadie, let's
are we just taking the gun?
Yeah, let's just take the gun instead of trying to do the whole case. You can just hold it in your lap as we go.
All right, it is the afternoon of day 2 for the second week of hunters, and I've got everybody in the stands now, so we got 5 people still hunting. I just got a text. Oh, it's one of the hunters. I always ask them to text me when they get settled in the stand to make sure that we can get a text to go out. Most of these places you can't make a call, but a lot of them you can send a text. So I always ask them to shoot me a text as soon as they get settled into the stand. So Sadie and Jason went back to where they hunted the first night and saw the great big bear that didn't come to the bait, because we had a really nice bear on the bait at 7 o'clock last night. They saw several bears last night at the raspberry stand. Sadie decided not to shoot any of them because they weren't big enough. She's being pretty selective. Though there was one that was kind of circling the area and looking at them, and they got quite a bit of footage of it. Thanks to Jason for taking a video camera with them and filming it, but that one never came all the way to the bait, so they never attempted a shot at it. So they're back where they started out, and hopefully they'll get that one really nice one that's been coming in there right before dark. Travis is in Beauty because I went in there this morning, and I was going to put him back where I put him last night, but I went in to run some baits this morning, and I bumped a big bear off of the Beauty Lake bait. And there's multiple nice bears in there, and I decided I got to get somebody in here, so I put Travis in there. And then I also put Tim back where he hunted last night. He saw quite a few bears, shot, but made a bad shot. He admits it, and unfortunately just clipped the bear. We found a little bit of black hair and some fatty grease, I guess you would say, on the arrow, but no blood. We didn't find any blood on the arrow. We didn't find any blood anywhere around there. So I put him back in there where he saw several other bears last night. So he's going to probably have another chance tonight, and he decided to take a rifle with him tonight. Everybody kind of sounds like they're maybe a little more likely to shoot a bear tonight. It's kind of cool that everybody got to see some last night, and everybody saw multiple bears. So we'll see how this evening pans out, but I just got a feeling the Skinner might be pretty busy tonight.
She went that way. She was standing in with this pile. So that damn barrel, I had to kind of.
Yeah.
So she ran like that. Yeah.
You see it?
Oh yeah, I see it. Yep. Ready? I made that look too easy.
Yeah, it's not quite as heavy as last night.
Put some more lead in it. You guys want to need that sled?
Yeah, I'd rather not shoot that one.
What is it?
195.8.
You should have let her take a few more bites.
Yep, I should have.
If she would have drained all that blood, it was 200 for sure. I was right on.
I'll take it.
Or I guess that's already.
Well, I would say, yeah, I don't know
We're gonna find
which way you want it.
Trying to get such a glare on here.
Okay, that's it for day 2. We've got 2 bears down and 4 to go. Everybody's seeing bears and everybody's being pretty selective, it sounds like. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Well, here we are. It's vlog 10. How in the world did that happen? And believe it or not, we're not done. There's going to be at least one more. So to start this vlog off, I got some good news and some bad news. And unfortunately, the bad news is that I had to do something that I've kind of always dreaded and I thought might happen at some point, and unfortunately it did on this hunt. I have a policy that if you draw blood and wound a bear, then your hunt is over. I can be somewhat flexible with that policy if somebody shoots a bear and they make an honest mistake and it appears that the bear survived. You know, every bear has value. Been a little bit flexible with that policy before, but this year we had a guy that shot a bear on the first night. There wasn't blood, but the arrow appeared to be a just a light skin wound, flesh wound, maybe brisket or belly or something like that. The arrow had some fat on it, the arrow was broken, but no blood on the ground, no blood on the arrow. Then the third night, he wounded another one. He made a shot that we didn't find the bear. And I was left with the really unfortunate situation where I had to pull the plug on him and explain to him that he could no longer hunt. Extremely difficult. I hated to do it. A really nice guy, and just, you know, he made some honest mistakes, but like I said, every bear has value, and I can't just have people out there that are wounding bears. So I told him he could stay and help bait or hang around camp or go fishing or whatever, but he decided to go home. And so very unfortunate for him and for me, just hated to do that. But the good news is that everybody got a chance to shoot a bear again this year. And I'm going to show you two hunts here, or two partial hunts, I guess you would say. The first one is Big Mike from Iowa shot a pretty nice bear. He had passed a few bears, saw a lot of sows with cubs, had a lot of bears around him. And then on the fourth night, he decided to go ahead and shoot one, got a pretty nice one, so I'm going to roll that for you. And then immediately following that, I'm going to show you Travis's situation, where Travis passed up two really nice bears on the first night. Yeah, the first one I was surprised he passed, and then the second one was even bigger, and it was there at last light, and it's his first night, and he's bow hunting. He decided not to take a shot, and I never fault anyone for not taking a shot that they're just not comfortable with. And as it's getting dark, this was maybe 10 minutes before the end of legal shooting light, he chose not to shoot that bear. Then he continued to see bears. Put him on a different stand, and he saw 9 bears in 2 nights, including a chocolate that he passed and multiple other bears in that 150 to 225 pound range that he passed. And then he ended up shooting a really nice bear, 234 I believe it was, so it was a real nice male on the 5th night. So I'm going to roll that too. Also wanted to mention that what happened with Sadie, I'm going to dedicate vlog 11 just to Sadie's hunt, because it's unbelievable. She passed an absolute giant with 10 to 15 minutes left of legal shooting light because it was laying down and she didn't feel comfortable with the shot. She passed up a lot of bears. She was being super selective, and man, I'm thinking, holy cow, she's taking a big risk here. But let me tell you something, she got paid. It really paid off for her, and I'm going to devote entire vlog number 11 to that, so you don't want to miss that one. All right, let's go into Big Mike and Travis's hunt here.
All right, we're walking in where Big Mike shot a bear. Come check it out. All the food's almost gone. Oh, there's Big Mike.
Shot a bear.
Yeah.
Went maybe 10 yards that way.
Good job.
Nice. Thank you.
If you could point it out for us.
Yep, he's right through the woods right over there.
Oh, yep.
Well, let's get Mike down and we'll walk over there and go check it out.
Sounds good. Yep.
You got a blood trail?
Oh, yeah.
I'm on it.
Yep, we got lots of blood.
Oh, nice one.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you had a nice black bear.
Yeah, he's got a little chevron.
Good deal.
Wow, nice. Congratulations.
Another black.
Thanks for all the hard work.
Hey, thanks for holding out.
Another black
Very
bear
nice
from
bear.
Bernie's Guide Service.
That's a nice bear. Very nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your hard work.
Look at that hole. That's the exit. Geese in the background. Don't get better than this.
No.
Nice white. Super nice white.
Us in one, and then we'll get Bernie in one with me. How about that? You ever get in any of your own videos?
Not very often. Not with a bear usually, but unless.
How's it looking?
I think All right, pick a number.
180.
A little bit above that.
I thought he was 200 when I shot him, but I don't think he's
it's-
going to make 200.
I think it's really close. I'm going to say it's 190.
I was going to say 175.
Oh, I would have shot that one.
Yeah.
Stand next to him, Mike. We can get another picture of you with the, so you can see the chevron on the front of it.
I don't know if you can see it too well, can you?
Grab the other leg, Mike. Oh, now you're gonna get.
Did you get pictures on the stump?
Be in it?
Oh, yeah.
Here, just leave me out of it.
Going to get around.
All right, Bernie.
I had to,
way to go, brother.
I had to pull this thing up the hill, and
Unreal.
I'm like, I got to rest for a minute. He just kept going.
Unreal. Yeah, Travis.
Yeah.
He had a little pulling power behind him, did he?
Yeah. He said he didn't. I said you don't have to go to the gym today.
Well, here you go. Let's see how you did it.
Yeah. Nice job, Travis.
There's that.
Awesome, man.
You can shoot it with the gun or the bow?
With the gun.
Yeah.
I got it on video. God dang thing comes in, lays down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Well, boy. Where, girl?
I have no idea. Didn't look, didn't care.
I don't either. Awesome.
Right. Man, they're pretty.
Just hold it up. Hold the camera up on it. There you go.
238.
He is 233. 234.
Nice.
Wow, I was
Another
off.
nice bear.
I was off by quite a bit.
Felt heavier than that dragging them, huh?
Well, we were on that other
He's real
one
long.
too.
Not so
everybody
much
was
fat, but
guessing
real long.
More.
Can I get a picture of your goddamn scale or just want to keep spinning on it?
Yeah, sure looks like a bear.
Broken here. That should be the one before the. That one. Nothing. Yours.
So there you go. There's vlog 10. I'm going to do at least one more because I'm going to do Sadie's hunt. And then I might do just a wrap-up video where I kind of give you the rundown and some interesting things that happened during the year. And maybe it's just the stats of how this year worked out. What an incredible year. So we will see you on the next video. As I said in the last vlog, I wanted to dedicate an entire video to Sadie's hunt, and there's several reasons for that. There's a lot of angles to it, I guess you could say. It's one of my favorite hunts of all the years that I've been guiding, and I think you'll understand why. And it started with her father, Jason, who killed a 375-pound bear at the rice stand 3 or 4 years ago. It is still the biggest bear that's been killed in my camp. And he called me up and said, hey, I got a surplus tag. Do you have a spot? And I'm like, I got one opening, so we can get you in. And he said, it's for my daughter Sadie, who is 14 and she's just about to start 9th grade. Can we start a day early before the weekend, and so possibly we can minimize the number of days that she's going to miss from school, because she's in cross country. And so they came in on Saturday, one day before the hunt, and turns out she missed the whole week of school anyway. But so let's jump right into this. So the first night, Saturday night, before everyone else got there, I put them in the stand where we've had some really nice bears on the bait, and we've killed one nice bear out of there already, and it just happened to be the same stand where Jason had killed his a few years before. So I thought that'd be really cool if Sadie ends up getting one in there too. And she's shooting a 308. And that first night, all they saw was one bear that kind of circled and did not come all the way into the bait. And Jason got just a quick little video of it as it disappeared into the bushes. But He did get a good look at it. He said it was a really big one and it didn't come in all the way into the bait. Well, the next night we're going up to the northern part of the area and we're putting them in a bait called raspberry. That was the first night that everyone else was there, and so I have my baits in groups of 3, and so raspberry is one of 3, and we also put Tim and Travis in other baits that are 2 miles apart from raspberry. So that night they saw several bears. In fact, she passed up a bear that was actually 2 bears that was right at the bait and feeding in front of her. They had a couple other bears that were around them, kind of circling and so forth. A couple of them, most people I guess would have considered shooters, but she had set her standards pretty high and she wanted to kill a big bear. Her dad killed a big bear. I think she actually kind of had it in the back of her mind that she wanted to kill one bigger than he has, which is a tall order. So they passed up multiple bears that second night, and then the third night I had a stand where I had put Dave in a ground blind, and it had multiple bears that were hitting it, including one real dandy. And so I thought, I'm going to put him in that ground blind. So we ended up putting him in that ground blind on the third night. We'd already killed 2 bears, so we only had 4 hunters out. Well, they didn't see anything that night, which was pretty disappointing. I decided to put them back into rice where they had sat the first night because the bears were still hitting the bait. We had bears coming in. We had big bears on that bait, and some of them were coming a half an hour to an hour before the end of legal shooting light. So I had a second stand I hung in there so Jason could sit with her, of course. They had a really big bear come in, and as the bear walked in, there was 2 just split seconds, one now and then there, where if she was completely ready and wanted to pull the trigger in a hurry, she could have had a shot, but then the bear just sat down. And it laid there and sat there for the next 10 minutes or more, and I ended up walking in right at the end of legal shooting light and spooking that bear off, and she just never got a shot that she feels comfortable with. And that was a huge bear. Really would have been cool if she'd have got that bear. Might have been bigger than the one her dad shot, but she didn't feel comfortable with the shot, and he's kind of coaching her. You know, he's giving her good advice. Jason's saying, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with a shot, don't take it. You know, I never fault anyone for not taking a shot they don't feel comfortable with. A lot of people would have shot that bear and probably killed that bear, but she's a new bear hunter and she's making choices based on what she feels comfortable with, and that's the way it should be. So in her case, I feel like she made the right decision. Now it comes to the point where she's missing all these days of school and she doesn't care, but Jason, I think, is kind of feeling like it's time to make something happen here. And so she's going out back to raspberry again. I checked the card and there's still multiple bears coming into raspberry. I knew it was getting hit because it was getting cleaned up. Every time you go in there, it's just wiped out. On this night, she goes in there and she had a bear that came in, and she said she's going to lower her standards and probably just shoot a good representative bear, I guess you would say. Any decent bear, she's going to shoot it. Well, she had a bear in there, and she passed up, you know, kind of a smallish 150-pound bear. It was there, around there for a long time. And then all of a sudden she sees, here comes a bigger one. And this one just stepped in. It was behind a tree, so she couldn't shoot. Jason was sitting in a separate hang-on stand beside the ladder stand, and he's looking the other way, and all of a sudden he turns around and he looks at her, and she's got her gun up and she's looking through the scope, and he looks at the barrel, and here's a big old bear standing at the barrel, and it takes a step into the open and she shoots. And he's like, you know, he didn't have to coach her at all. She's like, that one's going down, and she shot it. She made a perfect shot on it. I got this trail camera video of the bear right in front of the barrel, and unfortunately right before she shoots, the 30-second video ended. Well, when we got in there, Jason said he made a half a circle, and I think I heard him crash right over there. And Sadie's just so excited and giggling and all the fun things about somebody that age that just shot a big bear. And here, just watch the video of me recovering their bear and getting it out. It was an amazing experience, and I'm so happy for her. All right. We'll meet you back here in a little while, Bill.
All right.
You got enough things to do stuff with there? Got a sign.
All right, Sadie, take us through it. I was facing the other way.
I know.
I just happened.
I was contemplating getting your attention, but I was like, no. And so it came up, and I was like, come on, just step a little bit more forward. And so it came forward, and then I just hit it, and I had no idea what you were doing. It ran off around that way, and it was a big bear too.
Yeah, that was a good size. Yeah, that was a good size.
Bear.
So I was facing the other direction because of my hang on stand, and then I turned a little bit, and I tend to look down just a little bit towards you. So I was turning just a little bit, and I saw you had your gun up, and I was like, what in the world? So then I looked up, and I saw a bear at the bait, and I was like, I wonder if I can get my phone, ready or whatever, but I didn't want to move too much.
Yeah,
so,
you were just sitting there like.
Yeah. So I'm so happy and so proud for you. Okay, so I'm gonna text. I'll text Bernie.
Okay.
And we'll.
Go see if I can.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because we watched it run up that way and then down that way. How'd a girl say your roast?
All right, let's go get them. Okay, we are headed in. I got a text from Jason, says shots fired. Sadie shot a bear, and they think they heard it crash. So it's only like not even 5:30. It's about 5:30, I guess. So we're headed on in there to recover Sadie's bear. Woo!
Okay, so a small bear came up at like 5. It was like 5 probably.
Okay.
And it came in and it ate like there were like 3 piles. It ate the first one, and then it ate the second one, and then it was just like sitting there. And then it came up, and then it went back around that way. And so I was going to shoot it, but I didn't really have the best shot. And then we waited like an hour, and then a big one came up and was waiting like right in between those trees and like eating out of the barrel, and then stepped forward a little bit, and then I shot it, and then it ran around that way.
Kind of made a half circle.
It went up this way and then a half circle around that way, and I feel like it'll be good.
And then there was a crash, and then
You
a
heard a
noise.
crash?
I don't know what the noise was.
The noise did sound like a moan, kind of, or?
No, it was like.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's find it.
Let's give me some of that.
Yeah, it ran through to somewhere in this kind of general area, and then it was kind of hard to track.
But at this point, it was just kind of more going away from you.
Yeah, it kind of made a half circle, and there it is.
That looks like a dead bear right over here.
All right, Sadie Rose.
I could see it back there. I seen it about 20 yards back.
Oh, it is a big one.
I'll let you look.
That is a big bear. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
How'd it go, Miss Sadie?
Sadie, this was worth waiting for. I'm not kidding you. Look at that bear.
What do you got?
We got a big one.
That's a big bear.
We didn't bring a big enough sled.
How'd a girl, Sadie Rose?
Oh, Sadie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Good for you. What a hog. Is it dead?
There's your bone. Okay, feel that right there.
Here, I'll hold you down. It's gonna be out of the way.
Seriously, it went all the way through and it's right there.
So that looks like a good shot then.
Wow.
You said it felt good, and from where I was sitting, it
good
looked
job.
Good. It looked like a shot.
Look at that.
Let's see if we can get his head up on that log.
Ready?
Yep. Too far. Oh, that's a big bear.
Come here.
Come stand right where I'm standing, Sadie. Well, let's get some pictures.
Yeah.
You want the rifle?
What a monster.
What a girl.
You want to hold the rifle or not?
That is a solid
I don't know what
bear.
to do.
Just get on your knees there a little bit and you kind of get your... Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, or like what I do is, well, that'll work. Or I do a little thing like that and kind of fold it in. Like, it really doesn't matter. Good shot right there, Sadie. Proud of you.
Tree. What a moose.
What if they Ohio?
Well, you're pulling a trailer with them. If we can't lift them, you know.
Yeah.
1, 2,
You might have to put a hand there outside there, Bernie.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh! All right, put the rest of the stuff in the back of mine.
Head on this thing.
Oh, yeah, geez. That sled.
Look at that head. Huh?
Had a melon on it.
I know.
That's a big old head.
It looks freaking giant. And you guys are behind it.
Yeah, those are big. Look at those.
Them are gorgeous.
Yeah.
He's up, guys.
323.
323.
Boom. Are you so sad and so bummed?
Oh yeah.
Dad's happy.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting for me, really rewarding for me to see her and all the excitement that she had, and for Jason. And that's a really big bear in Minnesota. And people talk about 300, 400, 500 pound bears all the time, but to kill a 300-pound bear in Minnesota, it's quite an accomplishment. And we've killed a few in our camp, and it's pretty exciting that a 14-year-old girl happened to be the hunter that got one of them. So really grateful that you watch these vlogs, and I'm gonna give you one more video here, vlog number 12, where I'm kind of gonna go through the details. There's a lot of loose ends to tie up, and I'm sure you're wondering, you know, how many males versus females we got, how much bait we used. I'm actually got an amount of how much I spent on bait this year, and it's gonna shock you, but it was all worth it. So stay tuned for vlog number 12, and then I'm gonna go bear hunting for myself in Ontario, and we'll be bringing a video on that too. We'll see you on the next video. So I made a few notes on my phone here. Some things I thought you'd be interested in to kind of do a wrap up of the season and just sort of give you the details on, you know, what it looked like overall, and things I thought you'd be interested in. So the first thing is that something that I'm proud of and I've worked on, and I'm really proud of my hunters for their efforts in this, and that is, out of the 14 bears that we shot, 13 of them were boars. So 13 males. That's really, really good. It's very good for conservation. It's good for the number of tags that the DNR is willing to give out. They always tell us that we're shooting too many sows is one of the reasons why that there's not very many tags available, and it takes a long time to draw a tag. So I'm really trying to do my part in shooting more boars, and my hunters this year certainly took part in that. So 13 out of the 14 were males, which is really tremendous. We had 17 sows on the baits. I think sometimes it's pretty difficult to get a full count on them, but I went through and I think that was true with 17 sows with cubs on the baits this year, and out of those 13 of them had 3 cubs and one of them had 4 cubs. So that means there's only 3 left that had 2 cubs, which most people think of the bears having 2 cubs every other year, but in Minnesota they're telling me that's 2.7, and it's actually been going up, and my experience this year would indicate that it's gone up quite a bit. And having a bear with 4 and then all those bears with 3, it just means the bears are reproducing really fast, and the bear population is very high. I think in the 25 or so years that I have been doing this, I think the bear population is the highest it's been, and I feel like we need more tags. I think we can give out more tags. The DNR should be increasing the number of tags available because the reproduction is so high and the bear population is so high, and it affects a lot of things. The deer population is really low in some of the northern forested areas of Minnesota, and the wolves get a lot of blame for that, and certainly the wolves are taking their toll in many areas. But a very high bear population is also partially to blame. I really think that one of the reasons why the deer population is down in many areas is because the high percentage of the fawns that are getting killed by predators. There's a ton of teeth in the woods right now. Bobcats get some. There's more mountain lions in Minnesota all the time. The bears are getting a lot. Wolves are getting a lot. Deer to humans are more than just food for predators. They're food for humans and recreation, and the money that comes from deer hunting is extremely valuable to conservation. So it's just another reason why we need to be harvesting more bears to reduce the predation on the fawns. One of the great advantages of having so many bears on the baits this year is that I now have probably 120 to 150 bears that were on my baits this year that know where those baits are for the future, and they'll keep checking back. For the hunters that will be hunting with me in the future, boy, it's just a really, really good time to be a bear hunter right now, and it should be pretty exciting to see what happens over the next few years, because what happened this year, let's just face it, it was really, really good for business. There's no other way to put it. So if you've watched this channel very much and understand my strategies for how I bait the bears, then you know that one of my fundamental cornerstones is not to let the bears run out of bait. It's just never a good idea to cut back on bait or get yourself in a situation where bears are coming to your bait and not finding something good to eat. We want them to be rewarded every time they come to the bait. Well, this year that was just flat out impossible. We kept pouring the bait to them, and it was disappearing as fast or faster than we could get it out there. I added second barrels to some of the baits. There's some of these places where I put 30 gallons of bait out, filled up a barrel in the morning, and it was gone by the middle of the afternoon, so there wasn't even any bait there when bears came in the evening or the night. You just couldn't get yourself in a situation where you could feed them enough that they wouldn't run out. And we got away with it. In fact, there was a point where I would consider substandard bait, where I got 12 barrels of these red peanuts that the bears just didn't like them very well. In fact, at first they didn't eat them, they just pulled them out of the barrel and ate everything that was mixed in with them. But eventually they started eating the red peanuts, and they were fine with them. But in a year when there's a lot of natural food and the bears are hard to keep on the bait, so I'd have never got away with that. So it's just something that I learned from this. So I actually spent a total of $8,600 in bait, and I had bought some super sacks to start with, several super sacks of 1,800 to 2,000 pounds. And then as I ran out, I kept buying barrels, and I got them from different, anybody that would have barrels of trail mix, I'd send one of my guides or I'd go get them myself. And we just kept buying what was available and mixed nuts and everything we could get our hands on. We ended up spending $8,600 on bait. Now, that certainly cut into my profit, but I'm telling you that it's worth it somewhat for the reasons that I've described earlier as far as what it's done for the future, but also everybody saw multiple bears. Everyone had a chance to shoot bears, and everybody did shoot bears. And that's a record that I'm very proud of, and I'm going to try to keep it up as long as I can. So far, everyone who's ever been to my bear camp has had an opportunity to shoot a bear, and I don't think there's many outfitters that can say that. So I'm willing to spend the money to provide that kind of a quality hunt. I'm going to keep tweaking my barrel strategy. Barrels are an important part of how I hunt, and it protects the bait from the weather. We had great weather all year. This year it wouldn't have been really necessary this particular year. Barrels also limit the amount of bait that bears can get at a time. So the barrels were a good thing in a year where the bears were just gobbling it up. And you can use barrels somewhat to meter the amount of bait by using the small hole, and like the second barrel that I put on some of these baits had just a small hole. So they really had to work at it, and that helped. But when the bait would run out, they just tear the barrel off the tree, and they're twisting them up and trying to, climb in them and making all kinds of commotion, tearing the lids off. Basically out of bands that hold the lids on because they bit them all off and broke them all, and they're pretty much all gone. I don't think I have any left. I had one barrel that the bears took the lid off. I never did find the lid. I made circles around and around and around the bait, and I just never found the lid. I don't know where they took it. So I'm really glad you enjoyed this vlog. I got a lot of positive comments, and I'm really grateful that you watched it and that you're a subscriber. And I booked up for 2025 and 2026 with people that have sent in deposits, and 2027 is about half booked with people that have sent in deposits already. So if you're planning to hunt with me and you're planning to draw a tag in the next few years, you better get a deposit in or you're not going to have a spot. I did add a semi-guided option for 2025 where I will just provide you with 2 active baits, and that's a discounted cost for that hunt, and that's a way that I can put more people on bears, I guess, without offering the fully guided experience. And I really don't want this thing to take over my life. I love doing it, but I've got other things that I do that are valuable to me and important, and this is a part-time thing for me. So having 6 hunters a week for 2 weeks is a really good number for me, and that's what I'm really hoping to be able to continue to do into the future. I just don't want it to get too big. I want to be able to provide a really high quality experience for everyone that hunts with me. So thank you very much for watching the vlog, and I'm surprised it turned into 12 of them, but there's just a lot of information that was coming across this year, and I really enjoyed doing them. It's a lot of extra work to get all this video, but I had good help, and especially Virgil that ran the camera for me a lot this year. Going to continue to do it, I guess, as long as people enjoy watching them. So we'll see you on the next video.